Welcome to the 5th episode of the Vast Podcast. My name is Parker Bodnace, and I'm here with Dalton Cameron today. Dalton, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good to hear, good to hear. So what do you do? What do you specialize in?
I usually specialize in makeup, but I also do hair, wardrobe, and props sometimes.
So what do you do makeup for? Is it just kind of like a beauty thing, or is it...
I do anything from theater to film to just actually like for events and stuff like that.
Perfect, good to know. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about makeup, wardrobe, props, and hair.
Yeah.
And hair. So we're going to talk about the different uses for it based on theater, based in video production, why we use it, and what we can use it for. So Dalton, just jumping right into the biggest topic of today, makeup. What are the uses for makeup in video?
Usually you have makeup to either create a character itself, whether it be like anything from like, you have a lot of zombies these days, aliens, or if you just want to create a post-apocalyptic, or you have the other side of it, which is usually beauty and fashion when it comes to like Hunger Games and stuff like that.
Okay. So what would you say is the difference between what you might do for video and what you might do for something like theater? Like, what would you say is the difference between beauty makeup or filming makeup and like effects makeup?
Well, to answer the first question, when it comes to theater and video, you solely depend on when you're in theater, you have a lot of things to deal with, whether it be lights or they actually have to physically, like you can't take a break during theater to wipe them off if they're on stage a lot. So you have to either use different types of makeups or just multiple things in general.
Oh damn, I stepped right into your camera. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. But no, it's just when you're working with theater, you always have to use different kinds of makeup because they're going to be sweating a lot. And then also lights might be a little bit brighter on a theater set, so you'd have to use either darker or lighter makeup depending on the actual lighting.
All right, perfect. So in film, I understand that lights can be really bright and people can have relatively shiny skin.
Yes.
What might you do in that situation?
Usually we use like powder and stuff like that. If the actor does have a very oily skin but you want to keep the natural look, we either use powder or usually just light makeup in general to get rid of the shine, usually on like the nose, the cheek, and the forehead, and sometimes chin.
All right, perfect. So working with lighting and camera angles to guarantee the most effective, what would you do for that?
Most effective? Well, let's say we're working in like a very dim lit on set for filming and stuff like that. You'd usually, if you want to create something that would like pop out, you usually use something that catches the light, almost like a lighter color and stuff like that. You just have to play with how the light is going to hit it and how the camera is going to actually film it. So you have to work with the lighting team and the cameraman a lot when you're focusing on what certain aspects will be mostly featured.
All right, so I understand makeup can be a really, really tedious process.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct on that?
Yeah, depending on the look, it could take up to 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so say you're doing makeup for a film, you do half of your shots one day, and you have to come back the next day and do your other half. What do you do to make sure your makeup stays consistent?
We have molds, reusable molds for prosthetics and stuff like that if the actual piece does need prosthetics. If not, or if it does or doesn't, lots of pictures. So many pictures, whether it be close-up, whole thing, together, it's just a lot of pictures. I've had up to 20 reference pictures to redo a look for a certain night or something like that.
Really? So you sound like you have a lot of experience doing effects makeup on sets and on shows. Do you want to give any examples of those?
One of the examples is, I have an example for theater and stuff like that, how it had to be repeatable and also changed throughout the night. So it was someone that turned into a princess to a bear and stuff like that. Weird story. But you had to find these certain key things that you can lock into and stuff like that, whether it be the physical color itself or actually like a certain way you want to do like actually layering the makeup. So like I always found it a lot easier to start with the eyes and then branch out. And that's for anything that I do, is I always start with the eyes and then go out from there. Unless I don't need to do anything with the eyes, and then I just do a specific thing. So for that night in general, it was a lot of just having photos upon photos, and then because the actor isn't in the mirror, it just me looking at it and like going back and forth, whether it just be one brush stroke or doing like a whole cheek piece. It was just a lot of back and forth motion almost.
Right.
And if you have to do it like 10 nights in a row for a certain theater show that's going on in your school, or on Broadway or something like that, where you have to do it repetitively, it gets a lot easier. But if you're doing it for like the second time repeating it, it becomes difficult.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I do want to bring up, you did a little bit of effects makeup in our West Tech show, Rumors.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. I was in Rumors. I was a physical actor, and in the show, there was an argument between me and my wife in the show, and then we walk off stage, and she allegedly hits me, and then I come back on stage frantically, and this takes the off stage. I only had about 3 minutes off stage, and she punches me while I'm off stage, so I had to make a broken nose effect and bloody nose and stuff like that. Plus, it was backstage, and I didn't have adequate lighting, so one of the tech members had to actually get their phone light, and another tech member got the phone so I can use it as a mirror and stuff like that. And we did this show 5 times in a row, and I got pretty good at it. But one night, it was a Thursday night. I think you were at that show. But it was the door, either on a certain line I open it, or on that certain line the other actor who's next to the door opens it and stuff like that, depending on the timing and stuff like that. And this night, I jumped up onto the platform because the platform was about, let's say, 5 steps up from the physical ground floor. So I got on there and the door immediately swung open, and that's like the closest I've ever been, because usually I get up there, I have like 20 seconds, I listen to the line, and then I open up. But it was literally, I went on, and then the lights hit me because the door opened up, and it was literally I was literally frantic during that moment, because I was like, oh, I think I just messed that up, but apparently it turned out fine. So.
I didn't notice anything, so I'll give you benefit of the doubt. It looked okay.
Okay. Thanks.
So, basing off of makeup, how would hair and wardrobe be meshed into makeup? How could you do that?
When it comes to hair and makeup and wardrobe, you have to make sure that nothing sticks out per se. So you don't have like one drastic feature that is really emphasized, and then the rest is just normal and stuff like that.
Like
so
a cowlick.
Huh?
Like a cowlick.
What do you mean?
A cowlick. Have you never had like, some people call it like a chicken tail or whatever?
Oh,
like when it, like,
a
sticks
cowlick, not a cow lick.
No, it's a cowlick.
It's a cowlick.
No, it's a cowlick. It's like, the idea is like a cow licks your hair, and that's why it's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like a physical cowlick that runs down your hair. Okay.
No, a cow lick.
Okay, yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, when it comes to that, actually, mostly there's a lot of wigs. There's not a lot of actual real hair being used. There's a lot of, especially, well, to list off some, Broadway. Most filming things, when it comes to actually like maintaining a certain style, like I know Walking Dead, a couple of the actors maintain a wig through the whole entire show.
So what's the advantage of using a wig over styling your regular hair?
Wig you can maintain. The actual hair artist can take that off and work on it for hours on end without actually having a physical person there. It's a lot easier to maintain. You can hide mics in hair and stuff like that. You can do that with physical hair, but it just has to be like a certain texture and stuff like that.
I've got to say, that's one thing that I actually hate when I see on, and this isn't so much an issue with filming and pre-production, it's more like live production shows. I don't even mind this. I hate when I see like they have the whole hair mic dangling on their forehead.
Oh, like
it's
far?
hideous. Oh, like it's on their forehead, and it's like
I know what you mean. Okay.
And I know it's a mic, but it looks weird.
Okay. Well, when it comes to professional things, you have a lot of, there's like, they order mics specifically to your skin tone, or makeup artists use the makeup to match the mic better and stuff like that. That is one place where hair and makeup does mesh, is when you have those fixtures that do run down onto the face from the hair, or you have anything that runs it's matching and stuff like that is a big plus whenever you're doing anything. But yeah, you do see mics, and sometimes they do go down to about here, depending on how the person talks. But usually you see them really high up in the hairline, hopefully.
Okay. So, jumping away from wardrobe and what they actually wear and how they look, props.
Okay.
How do we use props in the industry?
Oh, okay. So should we use like gun props? Because on set, when using a gun prop, there's about 5 different props for the same gun. You have the physical gun that is able to fire, and you have the physical gun that is able to fire, and then you have one that is fake, and then you have one that is rubber, and then you have one that is foam, stuff like that.
So what's the point of? I was toying around with that. What's the point of having different guns for one shoot?
Well, if the gun is a stunt gun, you can have one that actually does a real fire and fires off real ammunition. That is for just the camera. There would only be the actor and then nothing in front of it, safety reasons. Then you bring in the one with blanks, and that's probably for an over-shoulder shot with the guy holding a gun and then actually firing at another actor with blanks in it. Then you have the rubber gun if you're hitting another character with that gun. You have foam one if you're doing a running piece and you need something that's light that doesn't wear down the actor over time.
Okay, so it's just for different types of shots you need
Correct.
different. So do they all look the same, or
Yes.
are there like visual differences that you can tell?
Good prop makers, you would not see a visual difference, but immediately picking it up, you would obviously feel the difference and stuff like that. And they try to use certain paints and certain textures that would match the gun.
Right. So I understand they used a whole lot of props in a movie like The Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
So do you have any specific pullouts from there that you might?
Okay, so like there was one piece where tell me if I'm getting this mixed up, but where an actor takes a spear and he like stabs a guy with it and stuff like that. You would usually see that it'd be the end of the prop, like let's say the spear, like that's physically holding, and then that is cut off and then has a green tip on the end, and that's for visual effects to come in and actually incorporate the stab. And then after the fact, the makeup team would come in, create the stab, props would put a fake, like a cut off, so it's in the actual actor and stuff like that. So there's multiple stages to a certain shot, which you wouldn't see that's layered.
Perfect. So we've gone over makeup, we've gone over wigs, we've gone over wardrobe, and we've gone over props. Those all work together to make a continuous look in a film.
Yeah.
You want to go explain on that, how they all work together? I know we've kind of brushed over it here and there.
So a character is always seen as it's always one ensemble when you look at it. The clothes match, so like let's say it's a post-apocalyptic, you still have the tatteredness of the clothes, you have the worn down of the face, and then you have the uncared hair. So you either have these wigs with like ends that are broken off, or it's like gel back, or it's even oily and stuff like that. And wigs would help with that, so it can be recreated. Same with makeup, with pictures, and wardrobe can create a seamless thing. And then you have props, which just give the character another style, which also has to match the wardrobe, the ruggedness of the training which the character would be in. So you would have a seamless look for a seamless character. And that again also goes like on the opposite scale. If you're not doing like FX horror or like injuries and stuff like that, you have the beauty side where you would have the face and
Sorry to interrupt. Horror? Yeah, horror.
Don't be a thought.
Don't be a horror.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old brother is...
That was the worst comeback ever.
Continue.
Horror. No, okay. Whether it be horror, on the other side, there's beauty and stuff like that. So like the Hunger Games, where the people are way overdressed and stuff like that, you'd have the same color of eyeshadow match the hair and the clothes, and even like the purse that they were wearing and stuff like that. So it'd make like a seamless ensemble via the actor and stuff like that. And of course, the actor then has to fill the role of the character that they were given. So it's almost like a shell, and then the actor uses the shell in which they were given, whether it be the wardrobe and stuff like that, to make it work.
Perfect. All right, well, I'm going to call the halfway point on our show right there. You all know what that means. We get to check what's in the picture frame today. So every week, Justin Lee, thank you, Justin Lee, puts a new picture in here. We never know what it's going to be.
Oh, God. I'm scared.
I am too. All right, you ready?
Oh, God.
Oh, it's Donnie T and Melania, and then someone else and someone else. They all look pretty pissed. Everybody in that photo looks pretty pissed off. Is it just me, or does like everybody look?
Why is that ripped out of a dude's picture?
I don't know.
Why is that there? This is. Huh? Is this supposed to go with the top? Because I can talk about a lot about Trump's work. Right?
All right, we'll be right back. When we come back, we have a special surprise for you guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. So our special surprise we had for you guys, Dalton's gonna do my makeup.
Beauty makeup.
Beauty makeup, yeah, no, not effects makeup. I don't wanna look like a zombie. I've got church tonight. I'm gonna look like a girl. I'm ready.
You are?
Come at me.
Let's go.
All right.
Pretty big.
Putting that up.
Glasses. Assistant. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
All right, that's gonna wrap up episode 5 of the Vast Podcast. Oh shoot, yeah, I forgot about that.
Forgot about what?
Microphone. That's gonna wrap up episode 5 of the Vast Podcast. Thank you, Dalton, for talking about makeup. Thank you for doing my makeup.
Hey-o.
We have been in the studio for over an hour now filming.
God, that hurt.
This is gonna be a lot of fun to edit.
It hurts so bad, and then he blinked. He blinked and messed it up.
If you'd like to be on this podcast, email parker@vastlv.com. Watch more episodes at vastlv.com. Like, subscribe, you guys know what to do. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.